fake news in a way.
Right.
Like, he has like a bunch of people in a room, and he's like, I think he like asked them all about MSG, and he like handed
Oh,
out a
you
bunch
went
of.
live? God damn it.
Oh, jeez.
Did he?
Yeah.
I just did it right now. But continue, please.
But anyway, so he hands out a bunch of like chips and snacks to all these people, and like these people are sitting there and they're talking about how they have their MSG headaches and how when they eat Chinese food, like they feel sick and blah 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 blah. And this guy's like just chowing down on like a bag of Doritos, right? And he's like, "Yeah, you got MSG in your hand over there, and you have some." And he's like the Oprah of MSG. Like everybody in the fucking audience has MSG because he handed it out. And he's like, "Do you get headaches when you eat Doritos?" And they're like, "No." And it just turned into a whole thing. Like these people were suddenly woke because of David Chang
David
breaking
Chang.
down MSG.
That's awesome. That is
So
awesome.
I guess we're live. So this is a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, we're definitely live right now, fellas.
Yeah, I'm trying to get.
Guess
So-
you could go ahead with the introduction. you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I'll actually do it this week, so that's cool.
Well, okay.
Because I am Chris with Cat on Craftworks, and as always, or sometimes, I mean, who knows these days, joined
Right.
by PJ from the Evolution of Tables, as well as Arturo the Shopmaster.
Yes.
It really
And-
should be the other way around. Like we're joined by Chris.
Yeah, by Chris.
It's been about
for
6
once.
months since he's actually been on the podcast.
It's been 1 week,
Too.
and we are Ask Me About My Wood. So, I would ask y'all what you're working on, but I don't care.
Now that's just not nice. I know you do
That's
care,
just-
'cause that's why we do this podcast.
Exactly.
Each of us, Arturo,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you start because I have to go finish cooking an egg for Mila, and
okay, yeah. Go
it's
ahead.
it's on the griddle right now, and I'll BRB.
All
So
right, yeah, go ahead.
take it away, toys.
Really, like right before you get started, Arturo, I will
sir.
say that you guys nailed it last week with exactly why I basically no-showed for the podcast, because I listened to it afterwards, and it was like PJ was like, "Yeah," he's like, he was probably up putting shutters like kind of late, and da da da, and he just slept in, and I was like, "Yeah, dude, that's like actually
Exactly what happened. Yeah, we had a
what
feeling.
happened."
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we tried just to get it out because then we would have to wait for like after the hurricane to get it out. So
Oh,
might as
yeah.
well just do it. And then it was like a 40-minute like podcast of just us like, oh, what are we doing? What are you doing for the hurricane? Oh, well, we're not doing it. All right, cool. Bye. All right, great. See you later. Like I think I had to see him that day or something too. So
The hurricane episodes are probably not the best.
no, and it sucked, man, because we didn't get crap. But anywho, so yeah, so that started the week. Labor Day was pooped on by some hurricane that was not coming through here.
Yep.
What else we work on? The shell stuff. Gonna wrap some of it up, like half of it up today, and Friday we
Yeah. What are you doing for shell lumber
so
exactly?
the two organizers with the screwdrivers,
Okay.
and then the boxes with the mini screwdriver set.
Okay.
So they're getting a little bit of the owners are putting a little bit of pressure on their reps and stuff. So they're putting pressure on me, and I'm like, so I want to knock out half of it today. The two
Those
organizers.
screwdriver hangers, how do those hang on the wall or like? on
So
whatever?
I have the keyhole in the back.
Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome because on the CNC you can like mark a reference on the
Yeah.
bed and then just keep putting them there and clamping them down.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and there's just perfectly keyhole every time. So they're 6 inches apart,
Yeah.
perfectly done. I love that. That came out like awesome. And then so I'm gonna wrap that up today. That's the goal. And then on Friday was a long ass day. Friday was when my grandma went to the hospital, and then that was the morning. And then I had to finish up her circus freaks. All their stuff for the grand opening on Saturday.
Yeah. So, I mean, PJ sort of told me a little bit about what you guys were doing over there, but I kind of still don't really know. All I know is that you made a ATM case.
Right. So they wanted when we came back out 2 weeks ago, they wanted to do extend their bar area, because PJ originally had made a bar. It was like a little sink, small little area, but then they wanted it wrap around all the way, from the side to the back, and then like a little piece on the left hand side, but left a piece like a gap just for them to get in and get out. So built that wrap around, built the ATM machines like cabinet type of thing. I guess that's what it's called. Like I don't know what it's called, like a case for it, but they call it a cabinet. So then we built that. PJ brought the pop up art on over. Uh, we'll finish that
Pop-up
up.
art.
Yeah,
Sure, nobody knows what you're talking about right now.
hey, you don't because you were here.
No, you don't explain yourself
Yeah,
at all,
I'm
man. Come
trying
on.
to explain it. I'm
Jesus Christ.
trying to. So it's basically a pop up, but you put your face in it. What would that? Does that have a name?
Oh, the
It's
little
like a
cutout things.
like a
The
photo
thing-
booth, a
Cutout.
cutout
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
thing that PJ and I were taking pictures at his
At
base.
his house. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly, exactly.
Yes.
Finally, it's out of his house, so it's in it's at
tell me
Harris
about it.
Circus Freaks. Yo, so we wrapped that up that day.
What is the story with that? Is that actually theirs? Or
Yeah,
is that,
yeah, she bought it.
like-
She told me the story about that. Her boyfriend got
bought it?
pissed.
It's from some artist in
Yeah.
Manhattan. Like it was a wedding thing in Manhattan. Like somebody bought it specifically for a funny like circus themed wedding, and then there you go. Like
That
it
was
was
it. They were
it
like-
existed after the wedding, so it's like all right, let's put it on Craigslist or something, you know. So they're here, you know, enter Alex who was into weird stuff, and then she bought it. Like
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I wonder what she paid for it. Never asked her. She always,
top dollar, man. Top
it had
dollar.
to be. It had to be. What is that? That's like a 4x8.
Hmm.
It's a full 4x8 sheet. But it came out pretty cool, man. I
The
saw-
image in front is it's joined at the hip. That's what they're trying to depict. With if there's two people sticking their heads in the holes, then it looks like they're like Siamese twins.
Yeah.
But one is a female of African descent, and the male wearing a tuxedo is actually you don't know.
I don't know. No, because
Because you don't see. Is he wearing gloves? No, he's got white hands. Never mind. He's a white dude. So it's an interracial Siamese. Like they share two legs, you know, like there's two legs between the two of them. They're actually joined at the hip, and they share two arms too. Like the whole
Yeah.
side of the whole torso is like fused into each other.
yeah,
That's a really cool thing.
it is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Instantly horrifies me.
Not creepy at all.
No,
you know?
not at
was
all.
nice. It was like Arturo was saying. It was in my patio for like 4 months, and Mila wanted to take pictures in it. She just wanted to take pictures in it because it was a cutout thing, and that's what you're supposed to do with it, you know. But then she starts like critiquing the front side of it. She's like, "Dada, why that man only has one leg, and like that woman only has one leg, and where are their other arms, and why are they so close together? Like, you know, their clothes are stitched together." I'm like, it's tough to explain that to a 5-year-old. Very tough to explain those strange things to a 5-year-old. Anyway, continue. I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, that was good. Should have kept going. Pretty much, I'm done though.
Oh, okay. So you were telling everybody about how you finished up the bar
Yeah,
at the place.
yeah, yeah. I was explaining
okay.
to Chris. Chris was asking about that. How we finished the bar. The ATM
Okay.
machine got to his cabinet, and the cutout. Finished
Yeah.
that up finally.
I know. Arturo was like, "It's just goes to show you, fellas and listeners, no matter how many times you measure, you should have measured one more time."
Oh my God, by a
Because-
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. The
Well,
ATM.
and not even. No, you had the measurement right. Your measurement that you took was correct, but you're thinking in like just the front face of the ATM and not didn't
Correct.
take into account. And anybody, I probably would have made the same mistake. It a little bit of a taper out as you work your way down each side of this ATM. So
Yeah,
you take a flat sheet of plywood and put it up against each side. Now you're a quarter inch or so out from where you should have been.
Yeah, it wasn't even just the bevel. Thinking of it now, it was like tapering outwards as well as we get to the back. Because I noticed when we put the plywoods, they're split, open towards the back a little bit, but like a quarter inch more.
Are they really? Oh.
No, they were.
They
But
were-
then
oh yeah, then we
we
put
just
the shims. and
yeah,
whatever.
when we put the shims, we made it a little bit wider so we can close the back to make it squared.
I love that kind of stuff, man. I love
So
that
wait-
kind of stuff, like the on-site modifications.
Yeah.
I'm saying love, and I mean absolutely despise.
Yeah.
But like, I thrive in those
Oh, you
situations.
like it when it comes in like clutch, like you can figure it
Yeah.
out and get it done.
Well, look at it.
and it looks great.
And the two pieces that we cut were a little bit too short, but it literally looks like vent holes at
Yeah,
the bottom.
might as well.
It's totally it's engineered. Those two
That
vent
actually
holes
look good.
actually they flow 1.8 CFM,
Uh-huh.
which is plenty.
We measured it, so
Yeah.
we know.
we
It
took
helps the
measurements.
money breathe. That's really.
Helps
Yeah.
the money
Sure.
breathe.
Yeah, otherwise it gets too hot and whatever.
And just breathe the mother. you know. But
So wait, I'm confused. Is the cabinet then not square, like
It's
around, like?
it's square. It's
no,
3-sided. It goes on both sides and it covers the front.
yeah,
It's just
Okay.
so it
she
like
didn't like the way the
slides
thing looked.
in, like it
Sorry.
slides in like a cover. So imagine like a cabinet, but only the back is missing, so we could slide it into the ATM, like around the ATM.
Okay.
And
Got
then
it.
but it's called, like, when you Google it, it's called like ATM cabinet.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. But they have a tapering going out in the back and a bevel. So then the measure was correct towards the front, but as you go to the back, it starts opening by a lot, by like a quarter inch. And then so we're like, shit. PJ came up with the bright idea to cut a strips, and I had the track saw. We cut a strip of plywood I already had, and 2 strips, and then we shim it. And sure enough, worked out phenomenal because I had extra pieces for the top, so I can make it bigger. It worked out great.
That's
Worked out
true.
great.
Yeah, always bring extra with you.
Yeah, I had a ton of
Always
extra.
bring extra.
I
Yeah.
had painted a ton of
Yeah.
extra anyway, so might as well just bring it. Because
Yep.
it's come in clutch with the bar area, extra little pieces here and there. But it came out good. Came out good, man.
You came out.
And the picture, the video she posted yesterday was her Instagram live was looking good. A lot of people showed up.
Oh, I didn't even see, man. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. She had her grand opening. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to go on the internets and see.
Yeah, it looked pretty cool, man. I mean, you couldn't see much because everything was like dimmed inside with like red lights and all that. But it looked good. It looked good. And they had the sword eating guy.
Oh, a sword swallower. Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's pretty interesting, man. It's like that's a lost art. People say woodworking is a lost art. I think sword swallowing is way more lost than woodworking.
There might be a
Way
reason.
less useful.
Wait, that's true. That's not practical at all,
No,
but
no.
lost nonetheless.
Yeah, it's still lost. What have you been up to, Chris? What have you been doing this week, man?
That is a good question. What am I doing this week? I guess I'm like semi preparing for the home show still, since we have like another 2 weeks for that. But I launched my YouTube video on the concrete outdoor dining table.
Okay.
So
That
that
was clean.
I did that in the middle of the storm because I was bored, because I was just like trapped in my house, and I have like a little brain trust of folks that I like shoot out like the initial edits to with the voiceover, and I'm like usually like, hey guys, like what do you think, blah blah, and like I sent it out to everybody and then didn't wait for any responses, and then literally just like because I was so bored, I like could
Yeah.
not handle it. I was just losing
See,
my
man,
mind.
Like, brain trusts are good and everything, but you gotta. That's good, man. I'm glad you just pulled the trigger on it without waiting. I like
Yeah.
that. You're getting better.
Well, I mean, I think part of it too is like I know not to say that I have it dialed or anything, but I know like what makes something like enjoyable now. So I was like, okay, like, and it was a long video. I mean, it was 14, almost 15 minutes. It's probably, well, it is. It's the longest video I've done so far. I actually was going to do 2 videos, and then I decided, nah, fam.
Yeah,
And
like the
we'll
top. I
dial
remember
it on.
you're gonna split the top and the base
Right.
in 2 different videos. Yeah.
Yeah, and that actually, I mean, the brain trust helped a lot with that, because I was, kicking that idea around, and then people were like, "Listen, nobody just looks on YouTube for table base. Like, they don't just throw that into the search terms usually."
Yeah.
He's like, "So like you're gonna get screwed, basically."
Yeah,
is kind of the way that
twice.
went. Yeah. So he's like, just throw it all into one. He's like, it's not your typical DIY project by any means. He's like, it's more just to show that you made something cool, and hopefully people pick something out of the process on it. And I was like, all right. So
That's
I
cool.
did that.
Did you post it on Reddit or
So I posted it in all the woodworking related stuff on Reddit. I tried posting it in DIY, but DIY, the way that works on Reddit, for those that don't know, is that you try to post a YouTube video to the DIY subreddit, and then it immediately denies you because it's just got a bar, right? It's like, you need to get approved by the moderators to get it posted. And so usually what then you have to do is you just send a quick message to the moderators. You're like, hey, I think this qualifies for, subreddit DIY. Can you approve this? And then usually within a day or 2 days, some, max, they respond. So I did that, and they still haven't responded. It's been like a week.
Mm.
So I'm in a weird position where I'm like, do I just like try to do it all over again? Like just restart the process and see if like, I mean, shit, there's 16 million, users, and I don't know how many submissions and how many messages the moderators get. So it could be something that just slipped through the cracks because I have to keep in mind that these are just regular people that are running these things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
There's that. But
That's
that,
good.
I mean, I don't think it's built to do well on Reddit, to be completely honest.
What do you think it's too long for Reddit?
No, I don't think it's too long necessarily, but Reddit is weird. So, usually the stuff that does really well on Reddit, and this is what I've been told and seen actually, because I've put a couple of my other videos on there too, is that thumbnails that don't have text in them do well. And that is a big thing. So, if you have your typical grabby YouTube thumbnail,
Yeah.
it's got like big white copy in there, then usually like people just move right past it. They don't even want to see
They
it.
think it's an ad.
Yeah, which is also
Yeah.
weird because say like Glenn from DIY Creators, he just posted he made like some sort of like what is that thing exactly? I guess it's like a media console with like built-in speakers, and it's like motorized, so it like raises
Yeah,
up
I
and
remember.
down.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
He did that a long time
Oh
ago.
yeah, a while ago.
Yeah, but he just posted it, I guess, in the DIY sub. So
Okay.
like literally just maybe 2 or 3 days ago. And,
Okay.
his actually is like linked where it says like ad monetized, and it's
Oh.
like tagged that way.
Oh.
He doesn't have any type in his thumbnail, and it's just absolutely slaying. Like I think he was up around like 3,000 something upvotes the other day.
Ooh.
So
Damn.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll figure out something to do with it. But speaking
Well, the
of,
hard part's done, man. Like you've got a really good video. I mean, that I watched it. It was very good. I told you how I felt in so many words and in a text message. But like it was really good, and I feel like, you having the video done, like the work is done. The hard part's done. Now, yeah, like you just be smart about marketing the video. Put it in the right places. Talk about it a lot. Don't let it die off, because I feel like it's already dying off as far as like what you're posting. You've already kind of moved on, and other stuff that you're posting, you got to kind of keep on it, because just like advertising for the home show, we'll say like, oh yeah, come see us at the home show, and if you look at the insights of something like that, maybe 20, 25%, 30% of your followers saw that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So like, yeah, you might piss off that 30% of your followers by saying the same thing over and over and over again, but you might get another 30% that hadn't seen it the first time.
yeah. It's funny that you say that, because one of the mistakes I made after the fact, and I'll actually get into another semi. I guess I can make the announcement. We'll get into it. But anyway,
Okay.
like
Here we go.
so I didn't take enough like beauty shots of it, like actual like DSLR pictures of the table. I was like just trying to get it filmed, the beauty roll like done. I took a bunch of pictures for I did take a decent amount of pictures for the like Instagram post and for the actual thumbnail, but I didn't use them all. I didn't save them all. I kind of like grabbed like 2 that I thought were going to be useful, and then I like just chucked the rest of them. So now the problem is that I don't have the table in my possession. It's down in Wynwood.
Yes, it's in
So
Wynwood.
if like when I look at my phone, if I'm going to do like say another post on it or something like that, I'm like, well, I still have the same 2 pictures I've been using for like the past couple of weeks.
That's
if I
true.
had it here,
That's-
like I would probably be a little more inclined to like take a picture of it, even on my iPhone or whatever, just to have something different. But
Well, what's the thumbnail that you used for the YouTubes?
it is the I mean,
It's like literally the one that's out in your front yard, right? Or not your front yard, like under the
My
patio,
driveway,
in front of
yeah.
the driveway. Yeah.
well,
just-
one of them is like it's a kind of like a quarter shot. So basically, it focuses on the live edge from the top.
Okay,
And
just
then-
Of course, you got to focus on the live edge, man.
You
Shit,
can see obviously a little bit of the base. Like I wanted to like kind of keep.
Let me see
keep
if
the
I
foot in
can
there.
put it up right here.
Well, the kicker about that, the hook, if you will, about that table is the combo of materials on top, the live
Oh,
edge
and
with the
that's right.
concrete.
There you go.
So like it's good that you focus on that. But look,
I like the
reason I
thumbnail.
brought it up is because the thumbnail's good.
I like
Keep
it.
posting the thumbnail. That's what I was saying. Like
Yeah.
almost treat that thumbnail as the logo for that video.
But then
know what I
here's
mean?
the other problem that happens with Instagram is
Yeah.
the thumbnail is not formatted for Instagram to maximize Instagram.
Gotcha.
So when you look at it when it's on Explore,
Screenshot. Okay.
like
yeah, you have the
um,
wide. You're gonna have the
yeah,
black space.
like can you see it on my phone?
Hold on,
like,
let me click on
when
you
I'm-
so you're big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep talking so that way you can kind of see it. But
You can select. I've been looking at myself.
Oh,
the whole
I
time.
see it.
Concrete. Oh yeah, it is a quarter shot. That looks good, man.
yeah, but the
Yeah.
problem is that if you're scrolling through Explore and you just see table, crete, and edge, our table, crete, and edge, like a lot of
Oh.
times it's a psychological thing, and it's just like I might click on it.
I
but
would click
whether
on
or
it,
not-
man, because
Yeah.
that's a sweet ass piece of maple right there, and I don't know
Ugh.
what Crete and J are, so I want to know more.
Yeah,
It looks good though, man. I really like the thumbnail. Just the
But yeah,
the
so-
look of it.
Actually, I cut my thumbnail this morning.
Oh, you look at that.
Oh my god. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry. Bad joke. Dad joke. Hi,
Yeah.
But the reason that story was going to lead into an announcement was a couple weeks ago, I agreed with Adam Beasley from. Oh God, did I just forget what his Instagram handle
Totally
is?
did.
Ooh.
Is it
Oh.
Adam Beasley Creates or
No,
Adam Beasley
It is,
Craftworks?
oh God, Lazy Guy DIY.
Oh, Lazy Guy. Yeah. Oh, dude, that's the epoxy guy from. Oh, geez, what's it called?
From Workbench, yeah.
Workbench Con. Yeah, you're passing around all kinds of brain farts, aren't you? Look at you.
It's Sunday. It's not Saturday. That's why.
Nice guy,
Yeah.
very nice guy. And I like the fact that he chose Lazy Guy DIY because looking at him,
He is
he
not.
looks like a lazy guy.
He does,
like
but he's
6'8",
not
but
at
he
all.
He does a lot. He does a lot of stuff. He does a lot of stuff, but he just like I don't know. Maybe it was because it was in the morning, the session, the epoxy session I took with him at Workbench Con. But he was just like I don't know, had bags under his eyes and kind of just like, meh, like
Yeah, we were all.
I learned a
extremely
lot.
hungover.
that probably has I'll probably
Yeah.
look the same or worse.
Yeah, but yeah. So to get into that, Adam and I, like, I'm gonna be a contributor for his blog. So basically, posts that I do are going to pop up on
Yes.
his blog,
Yes.
and et cetera, et cetera. So one of the things, and what's nice is that since he's more into the blogging, sort of driving traffic to his website, he's going to be, obviously marketing the posts as well to an
Mhm.
extent. And when we were talking about photos and like kind of like the requirements of like having like a dedicated blog post, he's like, all right, like I need a couple 16 to 9 ratio photos, a vertical shot for Pinterest. Like he kind of went down this like list of like
Oh.
what you need, and it sort of woke me up a little bit where I was like, oh shit, like every time I do a YouTube project,
Yeah.
this is what I should be keeping for myself, frankly, so that way I can then turn around and market it out,
Yeah.
to different outlets. So
That's
yeah.
that's something you never think about. You got to make a checklist of the different aspect ratios for pictures that you need.
Yeah.
And each type of post, like if you're going to do a blog, if it's a column in the blog, you don't want, if you try and put that YouTube thumbnail in a column, a real thin, slim type picture,
Right.
you're going to be, you're not even going to say, it's going to be like E and,
Yeah.
And the
you're
plus.
going to see
that's it.
one of the little pieces of the castle joint and that's it.
Yeah, actually,
But,
like one of the things when I look at what I post daily too,
Or it'll say pigeon.
when I look at what I like post daily as far as videos are concerned, I because when you film with a DSLR or a GoPro or anything, you're in that letterbox, like wide angle, whatever that is, 16:9.
Yeah.
But obviously Instagram will trim you down so that you end up in the square, right? So sometimes I've noticed when I'm editing a video and then I get it into the square, I'm like, oh man, like I can't see half of the action that's going on because I'm clipped out. So then I'm like, all right, scrap this one for the purposes of Instagram, go back, select a new sequence. Now I'm getting a little better about making sure that like the action is more centered in the letterbox, so that way you actually get more traction on your video and it's not just like an empty video with a bunch of bullshit going on. So food for thought.
Hmm.
FFT, fam. FFT.
So
good.
what about you, Peach? Other than you know,
Oh, goodness.
being a big sweaty guy.
Oh man, I'm not sweat. I look sweaty right now. I know I'm not sweaty, but like, okay. Long story short, yesterday Mila gets these kicks. My daughter Mila, she gets these kicks where she wants to like put like do like makeup and hair care products and things like that. So she had this lotion that she wanted to like put on my, she wanted to like brush my hair, my or lack of hair, and put it on my beard and stuff, and like use the comb and brush this like lotion into my facial hair. Because I don't know, like part of her wants to be a beautician or something like that, which is cute. It's awesome, and it's good quality time that I get to spend with her. But then I have a huge shiny forehead for the podcast because it's full of I have like super moisturized skin. It is a cool crisp 76 degrees in the house, but it does look like I'm profusely sweating. So I apologize for that. But anywho, speaking of temperature, yeah. If you guys have been following along on the IG stories and posts, I've been diligently working trying to make my 20-foot shipping container into a specific epoxy pour room. So started out by taking all of the slabs out of there, which was the hardest part. That was a lot of freaking work to get all those slabs out of there. And they're pretty haphazardly thrown into the middle of my shop. They're not really stacked very well, so hopefully we can get a place to put them soon.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyway, then we Arturo hooked me up with some rigid foam board insulation, and the idea was to use foam paneling caulking, the construction adhesive, and line the inside of the wall of the container with that adhesive, and then stick the panels to the side. But that, I'm impatient, as you all know. That takes too long to dry. I would need to put like bracing up and have it dry overnight, blah, blah, blah. So I wound up using a combination of the panel adhesive and some carpet tape, almost to the effect of if you use wood glue and CA glue on the same joint. So the CA glue holds it while the wood glue dries, kind of thing.
Yep.
So that
One of my
actually
favorite
worked
things to do
out
right now.
pretty well. What's that?
I said that's one of my favorite things to do right now. Actually,
Oh yeah, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
both. It's like you just put it together and it's done. It's
like I
an
did it
erector
on
set.
the those little business card holders I was making. I didn't feel like
Oh, okay.
over elongated clamp time, so I
No.
just dabbed some CA in the corners and then the rest of it with wood
Yeah.
glue and
And that's
spray.
And Bob's
Boom.
your uncle.
Yep.
So anyway, the stuff is stuck up there. It's nice. I used that nice that roll of aluminum tape, the duct tape, actual legit aluminum duct tape, not duct tape. And it looks like a professionally installed insulated room. I then had I purchased for Hurricane Dorian. I got us a portable air conditioner, so we could at least have one room in the house in case we lost power. We'd have one room in the house that had cool air for the baby, mostly 5-month-old, whatever. Don't want them getting too hot. So that inherently the design of that AC, it was looked like a small refrigerator, and it had an exhaust hose. Now, physics will tell you that if you have a volume of space and you start removing the air out of that volume of space, you'll experience what's known as a vacuum. So at least in my own head, what happened in this situation was that the air conditioner was working against itself. It was trying to push out all the hot air and cool the air that was inside the container. But the containers aren't like 100% airtight, especially an older one like the one that I have. But it was difficult to open the door. When I opened the door, I noticed, I heard the suction of air going in. So I think that's why the first style of AC unit wasn't working for me at all. So then I went to go check that afternoon after I had installed it, plugged it in, everything was fine. I wanted it to be 69 degrees. I go in there and it's like 130 degrees. So I'm like, oh crap, it's not working. Plan B, go grab a wall unit. So I cut out a bigger hole in the side of the shipping container, and I installed a regular old 8,000 BTU Toshiba. I got it for Chris. There's Toshiba, and there was also like LG. I went with the Toshiba because it's
Yeah.
Asian.
Nice.
And
They both are, but yeah, sure.
no, but Toshiba sounds Asian.
Yeah, it
dude.
sounds
Come on,
Asian. Yeah. He's gonna show up and go, "Oh, that's not a Dolce Gabbana." Oh yeah,
Oh, the Hitachi.
the Hitachi. Yeah.
So yeah, I've got that installed. Kind of a pain in the ass to install that because I was working with like it's between the shipping container and the shop, so there's like a 2 foot stretch. I had to like shimmy my way in, holding the air
Jeez.
conditioner, and then like slip it into the window and drive to self tappers into it. But now, yeah, man, the thing is 69 degrees. I didn't waste any time. I set up the mold on 2 sawhorses with a couple I beams to keep the mold straight, and did a pour already, man. It's a 2 inch thick pour of white epoxy with a gnarly piece of rosewood that goes down the middle. I'm going to call it the inverse river because it's literally the inverse of your traditional river table, where the epoxy is the river, but now the epoxy is the table, and the piece of wood
Is
is
the river.
the river to simulate the water
Yes.
flowing.
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Einhorn is Finkel. and then I did take one of those showers, like the disgusted showers after the fact, because that was, like
Sweating like all hell.
sweating
Yeah.
like an idiot.
Burn all your clothes.
Oh man, but yeah, man. So got a pour room. Got to figure out a place to put the slabs. Home shows Friday. Holy crap! A lot of exciting stuff coming up. I haven't done much by way of preparing for the home show except acquire a TV.
Okay.
I actually have Chris, if you want. We were saying that we want to do TVs, right?
Yeah, I was gonna
You still need
bring-
one?
I mean, if yours is more mobile than the one that is hanging on my wall sitting in front of me right now.
Now, I have the one actually where I'm sitting right now. This is the new location, guys. I'm not in my laundry room anymore. Hi-yo.
Hey.
So there's that.
Yeah, there's
I'm
just
sitting-
the place the babies are made right behind you.
Yeah, that actually is where
Yeah.
one of the two. Yeah. um,
Oh jeez.
oh, yeah. And now you can see the staples in life. We got an electric guitar and a 12 gauge, and a cool live edge table right here. Anyway, I've got two TVs. The one TV that was here where this computer is right now, which is like I would guess like a 45 or so inch, and then I have a smaller one that's like I guess 25 or so inch. Whatever. If you want, they're both HDMI compatible, and there you go. I would say
Okay.
put the bigger one on your side because you have less stuff, I guess.
Well, most of my stuff isn't there right now. I mean, I do have
oh.
less stuff, but remember, I've got like the nightstands I was bringing over, and I'm gonna bring my workbench now, like an empty workbench, just
Oh.
just something to display some planes on and all that. Just
Oh,
that was David Sage Seinko's idea.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah,
That's a good idea. So good, in fact, that the dogs are howling about it.
yeah, they need to pee, so I'm gonna go handle that real quick.
All right, go for it, man. We'll talk about you while you're gone.
That's awesome, man. Tell the people, what epoxy did you use?
What? Oh, that's the question at hand.
That's the question at hand.
I can't say.
Not
I
yet.
can't say just yet. It's we're working behind the scenes on a new, maybe like a potential business venture where we can become distributors for such an epoxy. It's not a paid endorsement or anything. I did pay for the epoxy that I'm using, but it might be a new like South Florida type thing where we're testing it. Obviously, I'm doing it in a climate controlled room,
Which it should be.
which it should be, yes. But
Yeah.
what I did notice about this particular brand of epoxy, not a brand, we have yet to brand it, but with this particular epoxy, it doesn't smell. It's very low VOC, very low odor, So almost, I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that it wouldn't be a terrible situation if you had to do it in your living room.
Yeah, an indoor environment.
In an indoor environment, because I've had this conversation a couple times with some people that slid into my DMs while I was posting about converting my shipping container to an actual dedicated pour room.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, we don't all have shipping containers," and I'm like, I understand that, But
But
you
I
know,
do, motherfucker.
yeah, but I do, and I'm showing you. So
This
so
is
whatever.
where
I'm
I'm
not trying
doing
to rub
it.
it in your face, but you know, whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like the biggest problem with big epoxy pours like that is cooking. You know, like it's too thick of a pour. Uh, Especially trying to do it down here in South Florida. Arturo, you just dealt with two clients that did exactly that. They used
Yeah, yeah,
another brand, which I won't mention their name.
yeah, they use another
And
Deport brand, and they brought it, but since they didn't do it in a climate controlled, it was too hot.
mhm,
And actually, what started doing was the reaction. The reaction causes heat in epoxy.
it's exothermic.
Yes.
Yeah,
So what happens is it uses that plus the heat and the ambient temperature,
yeah.
especially here in South Florida, is really hot in a closed warehouse.
Mhm.
The epoxy started cracking, so you had cracks 2 inches deep,
Yeah, like all the way through the
all the
thickness
way
of the
through.
table. Yeah,
Yeah, like completely cracked. Luckily,
crazy.
they fixed it now. They did it at night. They did the pour. They
Yes.
learned from it. And I told them, you have to do it. You just gotta do it at night. It will be a better
Mhm.
bet. You can't just do it in the day because it's not gonna happen down here. And like it's
Yeah.
epoxy. That epoxy in particular is an epoxy that I know people that use it, and it takes 7 days to cure,
Yeah.
and they got it cured in 3 days because of the
No.
heat.
Yeah, it was too hot, man.
Right.
Yeah,
So
that's all.
so they both cracked a lot. One they fixed like before they brought it to me to flatten. The other one they
Mhm.
did it, and I showed it to you or I FaceTimed you to show you the cracks. You're talking about
Yes.
cracks all
Yes.
throughout.
I remember I answered that FaceTime and immediately put you on mute.
Oh
Or
yeah,
turned the
because I had
volume all the way
the
down because
machine running.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like sitting there with the baby on the
Yeah,
couch.
yeah, yeah. I felt bad
But
afterwards.
but dude, no, that's the issue. That is the main issue.
Yeah.
And to somebody who wants to try a DIY thing, let's say for example, they want to buy a slab from me and they want to they can buy a slab from anyone. You don't have to buy it from me, but I'll give you the best deal. You can buy a slab and you want to do this cool trendy internet thing. You want to do a cool river table or something like that. And you just figure, hey, it's like liquid that turns into a solid, and let's just do it. And you have a lot of variables,
Yes.
temperature and humidity being the biggest.
Oh, that's our
Um,
biggest problem down here.
But
Is
look,
that.
here's this is what I was thinking while you were saying about the heat in a warehouse in South Florida. Yes, number one, yes to all that. But number two, this stuff takes full 48 hours to start kicking off.
Right.
All right, it's a very, very slow curing thing.
It's
And
supposed to be.
it says that on the label, it says, well, like the directions or whatever, it says what it's for. Smaller castings, smaller and thinner castings, you can actually heat them up to speed up the curing process, and it won't crack.
Ooh.
Thicker pours, the larger castings, you want to just let it do its own thing.
Right. Right.
So I'm thinking that, hey, maybe if you're doing like an inch and a half, maybe 2 inches thick of a pour, as long as you're not in direct sunlight, this stuff might be a better option, especially for South Florida. And that's kind of the angle that we're gonna
Yeah.
try and go with it, I guess. Just to say that it's a better option for guys in hotter climates.
Yeah. Did you? So I take you poured another pour this morning.
Yes.
Am I correct? Okay. And
You are,
how did
yes.
it feel? Like it was still very
It was
liquidy and all
it
that.
was a little all right, let's say it was water last night, and this morning it was your maple syrup.
Okay.
So it did start to cure, but I'm just like, why am I going to wait for just a half inch? It wound up being, it was only a half an inch of a pour
Right.
that I did last night. I'm like, it's still wet as it gets. So let me just do the rest of it now. It was less than 12. It was probably 8 hours later. So there was almost no change in the cure, but I just mixed up 3 more buckets and topped the whole thing off, and it's doing fine.
So you're at the full 2 inch.
2 inches, yeah.
Cool. I'll be curious to see
Yeah.
the like midday today, the temperature, and then midday
Yeah.
tomorrow and see what happens.
The AC that I got actually connects to Wi-Fi.
Okay.
The signal's not that great out there.
There's
so I have to
no
wait
way. Yeah, I was
reconnect it all
about
the
to say
time.
that. I'm like, there's no way you get Wi-Fi that far.
No, it did work, and it's
Okay.
I'll tell you right now, it's at Oh, never mind. No, it's not working. Okay, I
You
got to
should
get
one
a.
of those signal boosters.
signal
and just
booster.
put
But
it in
I told
the
you
shop.
Yeah.
and I told you what to do too. If you don't want to get a signal booster, but upgrade what you have there at the house, get the router and we
I know, man. I'm
do it.
sorry. I was I was riding too many horses with one
Yeah.
ass. I get it, but I do need to do that. So then then I can keep an eye, on the temperature because if that AC shuts off, I need to
You're
know about,
potentially
especially
fucked,
if
yeah.
if there's
Yeah.
if there's a big pour in it
Oh
right
my
like right
God.
now, if it shuts off, it's but whatever. It's got power. I know it's set at 69. When I was out there this morning, it actually cycled on and off, so it is at a true 69. I
Okay.
ran the blowtorch for a little bit because I'm trying to like peel off the tops of these 5-gallon buckets of this epoxy, right? And since it's cold in that room, the plastic is like way more rigid.
Yeah.
So I was like killing myself. My fingertips are like ripping off trying to peel open these buckets.
Oh, and
So I started
that
running the
hurts.
torch. I just heat up the rim of the bucket with a torch, and it softened the plastic, and I was able to get it off. But then the AC kicked on because I was running the torch like right next to it. The torch gets pretty hot.
That's
But
funny.
The
Yeah,
good
it's
old
good,
map
man.
gas.
Yep, good old map gas.
The map gas, man. That's cool, man.
I'm
That's cool.
excited to see how it comes out, and could be a big deal, could be a huge waste of money, but we'll see. Fingers crossed,
Yep. Yeah. I want to see how long it takes to cure.
Yeah,
Be
that's
curious.
what she said.
Now, what the consistency of this stuff? Like, is it
Like-
thick with 3/4 Cs? Is it thinner like West Systems? Like,
It's
is it good
almost-
for not filling. Like,
I would venture to say you've worked with the table. We both work with the tabletop epoxy, like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
From FGCI, the tabletop clear, whatever, bar top epoxy.
So have I.
That is both. I meant to say all three of us. Sorry. Both. I'm looking at two pictures of you, so I said both. I
Uh-huh.
always forget to include myself.
Uh-huh. A nice save.
so selfless.
Yes, I'm here for you guys. But that I would say that in a cold, in a regular, indoor setting, if it's temperature controlled, they look like molasses, right? But this stuff is literally water,
Huh.
like water just before it's frozen.
Oh, wow.
Like a squelch more viscous than water. A squelch. It's a very little bit.
You also added the pigment. I was curious, how did it
Yes.
mix well or anything like that? Well,
Mixed. It's like made for it. That the pigment that I used is basically the same stuff that they use for gel coat.
okay.
So it's a white gel coat whatever epoxy pigment. Just
Yeah.
a really thick stuff. I just did a cap. I had a cap from my like acetone bottle that I was going to throw away, and I scooped a cap of it just so I could be consistent with each of the pores
Okay.
to put the same amount of pigment in each pore.
Right.
And yeah, the cap full in 5 gallons, and it was perfect.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mixed well. I actually made one of my story posts into an actual post because it was a pretty big moment. I can't tell you how long I've seen people doing these types of things. Canadian Woodworks, frickin' Black Forest Woodworks, all these guys for years. And I've never imagined like, oh man, look at these guys doing these big pours and all this stuff. Like, imagine how much money they spent on all that epoxy. And yeah, it's not cheap, but it was pretty surreal to be standing there with the drill. I made my little makeshift threaded rod with a piece of wood on the end to mix it up,
Yeah,
and
so-
it was pretty cool. I'm like, man, I got to video this. If I was Chris, I would have. Number one, it would have taken a whole week, but I would have gotten some much better documentation of the whole process with
That's fine.
some hip hop in the background,
There you go.
But
Didn't forget that part.
yeah, the next one. Listen, I didn't document this one too well because I don't know anything about it. So
Yeah, you don't want it to fuck up, and then you're
Yeah.
stuck with your
Yeah.
A-roll is just you trashing this thing.
Yeah.
$500 worth of epoxy.
Yeah. Yeah, but like, so the next one, Chris, we can make a pretty decent YouTube skit for, for all the internet to see. I guess
There you go. It's the
that'd be
spirit.
nice.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I got
We could
that. I'm dying to
We could throw in some alternative rock into the background too.
Listen,
changing up a little bit.
I switched up the music a lot on
I saw you did
that
with
new
the rock.
video.
You did put
Yeah.
some rock themed tunes.
Because
in
I'd like
the-
tapped out most of the hip-hop selection on Epidemic Sound. Like
but,
I
like-
was like I found like a bunch of good ones that I really like on there, but like they just don't put new stuff on there enough, I
Yeah,
guess. Like,
As
or fast enough
frequently,
sometimes.
yeah, not as frequently, yeah.
And I mean when they do, so what's really popular right now is trap music. So there's a lot of trap beats out
Yes.
there.
Oh,
and I'm
wait
like-
till Christmas, dude. Oh my
Oh,
god.
God. No, he showed me that. Oh god.
Yes. Oh, we were
So-
bumping on the way home, man. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Nutcracker, Christmas
Yeah.
Trap Station on Pandora. Look out.
So yeah, the just the beat selection right now through their like hip hop selections has been kind of soft, but I usually let it do its thing for a few months and then we'll be back on it. I'll start digging through there and finding some quality stuff again.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's
Is
always
that
something
that's a
in there.
paid subscription to Epidemic Sound? Is
Yeah,
it like,
yeah. It's like I don't remember what I paid for it to be honest, but it's worth its weight in gold to me.
Yeah.
Because listen, I've known people. Actually, I doubt he listens to the podcast, but I doubt he'll also mind me telling the story because he's said it a few times. But the wood pastor, Steven, he has a YouTube channel, and his YouTube channel for a hot second wasn't doing too bad, but then he got demonetized because somebody
Ooh.
like recorded like some music that he had gotten off of something that was supposed to be cleared, and it turns out it wasn't cleared, and it was this whole
Oh man.
debacle. And YouTube is super artist friendly, so
yeah.
they were just like, yeah, later, like, you know.
Damn.
So, you know, like he was at the point where he was literally getting an AdSense check, you know, every
Sure.
month, and he wasn't, you know, out of nowhere.
Damn.
So
That sucks.
That's
yeah, and I forget exactly what he said he was going to do about it all, like whether or not he was just going to start over or like reapply for like, you know, to get reinstated on monetization or something like that. I don't know, but I mean,
And that
sucks,
sucks
man.
because it was a legitimate mistake too. Like if you know, obviously we're only hearing one side of the story, but you know, he thought it was cleared. You know, he might have even like you had a paid subscription to some kind of music bank.
Yeah, if I
and-
recall, he did,
Ooh.
which
Yeah.
is the problem, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be cleared,
Yeah,
you know, for them to sell it to you.
yeah, exactly. So you know, he was pretty soured on YouTube to say the least.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, like that post I made a couple months ago with using the Foo Fighters song as
Oh,
the
yeah.
background. It's like they're, you know, My Hero or whatever as Foo Fighters song, and there's the time lapse of me cutting down a series of areca palms,
yeah,
and I get this thing about an hour after I posted it saying your post has been deleted, whatever, like, you know, due to copyright reasons. There's the song title, blah blah blah, but it's still there. Like you can go right now to my page and click on it, and it still plays My Hero. It's not like muted.
Oh,
or
did they
anything.
mute it?
They didn't take it off. They said they did, which it freaked me out because I'm like, I didn't even think about it. I'm like, oh, it's a song. I paid for the song on whatever iTunes years ago. It's on my phone. That's how I used it. But now, I guess you can't repost it for other people to hear. And it's a 10-second clip of the song. It's like the beginning drum intro to the song, not even the lyrics or anything.
Jeez.
But whatever.
there
That's
you
okay.
go.
I should just. Could we make our own music?
Yes.
That
Yeah.
would be something.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Now
Yeah.
that would be something. Just
just-
like
we just
strum
need a
bit of a
keyboard.
guitar riff.
Yeah. and
I
a little
want to say
keyboard.
that
do-
Zach Herberholtz from ZH Fabrications
Yes.
makes some of his own music that he uses in his videos.
No shit. Okay.
Yeah, I saw the guy that created Patreon. He has a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
and it's videography. How he like
What is that word you just said?
videography. Look, man, I'm struggling on that one. But how he transitions and stuff like that, it's awesome. But he does his own music, just for
Okay.
that reason.
That's cool, man. That's you know what? Now
He
that's
likes
inspired
it,
me
so
to
might
like.
as
I need
well.
to make a camera, and make a computer to upload it to, and make the music, make the thing that's in the video.
You have Mac. You have a Mac right there, bro.
Yeah, but I need to build my own Mac.
Why?
You know, taking DIY to the next level, man.
Oh.
My own music, a computer that I built.
Okay,
You know,
that's easy.
now we're talking. I'm gonna make a computer out of epoxy.
There's actually
Look, I'm not.
Um,
I'm not saying anything because in my head, there's things going on right now.
There's a
about
guy. His channel's been popping up on like my suggested YouTube videos or whatever. But he like, I guess buys old Macs, like not like old, but you know, a couple generations behind.
Yeah.
So you're getting them off of like Craigslist or wherever for like $300, right? For
Yeah.
like iMac or something. And he tricks them out. Like just shows you
Yeah.
like how
Oh.
you can like
I don't know.
buy all the additional hardware and blah 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 to
Let me see
just
if I can pull you guys.
make it super gangster.
Yeah.
And yeah, like,
Dude, I've always been intrigued by that. Like, I don't know enough about it to get excited about it. You know, like
It's not
say,
that
oh, I have this processor or that. Like, I don't know what those numbers mean. You know,
it's a lot easier with PCs
Yeah.
than it is with Macs
Yeah,
I'm sure.
because I mean that was the whole thing was like I remember like all the little like video game guys that were really into computer games, they were like yeah like they wouldn't go to Macs because you didn't have the ability to customize
certain
it as
game.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So
so
I
I
mean-
I build my own computers. Let me see if I can show you.
Oh, that's true. Arturo's a CNC guy.
Yeah, but I don't just no. I buy the case and then I stock it with whatever the hell I want. Let me see what I have in there.
What are you doing right now with the camera? I
know
don't.
if you can see it because it has.
Are you on the
No.
toilet?
No, man, it has a plexiglass on it.
Oh, you wipe
Echo.
back to front? Oh my God.
Why?
yeah,
You're horrible. You're horrible human beings. No,
always front to back so you don't get poop in your little vagina, Arturo.
Oh my
thanks.
God.
Well,
The
anyway,
gooch?
yeah. So I,
Gooch. That's what I'm gonna call you from now on. Poop gooch.
yeah. So I build my own computers for that reason.
Okay. Okay.
To
So now
stuff out.
let me get after this real quick.
Yeah, sure.
You've got the case. You've got a
Right.
case that we could actually essentially make out of live edge slab.
Right.
And then you
We can't get
um,
that. We can't get that.
you can what do you have to put in it? You've got
So-
some kind
so
of
you
processor
need- you
and memory
need-
cards and
You need a motherboard. So you start
Okay.
with that. You need decide what processor you want. If you want to go,
Mother!
if you're gonna go AMD or Intel, depending on what you're doing.
Okay.
Then you gotta get some RAM because it needs RAM. Depending
Random-
also, yeah, random access memory.
Rapid eye movement. that's RAM.
No, that's RAM.
Sorry.
Then you gotta get some.
Rapid asshole movement.
You gotta get some storage. You know, so you got M.2s, you got SSDs, you got hard drives. Then from there, you wanted like a video card, even a basic little video card, you know, to give it some little punch.
I gotta write that down, man. Rapid ass movement.
Oh
RAM.
God. A power supply.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Cooling for your processor. And
A little fan.
And that's it. That's pretty much it.
And obviously, with all those things that you just mentioned,
Uh-huh.
there are cheap ones and expensive ones.
Correct,
and
correct. It's-
Low performing ones and high performing ones. Like,
Correct. Like so, I have a Threadripper, which the Threadripper is AMD's top of the line.
is that like a tap and die?
Yeah, something like that. It has 16
Chris-
cores and 32
Chris,
threads.
Chris would have laughed like 4 times already, but he's on his phone. He's not
Yeah,
even
he's not even
to all my
listening. He's
stupid
like
jokes.
bored.
I'm letting him fly, man. You gotta pay attention.
But it just depends. It just depends on what you want to do. But you know, it's cheap enough that anyone could do it. It's not that hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's most of it is like plug and play, pretty much. Like they're all kind of interchangeable.
Yeah.
Like
It's just
stuff that just like clips in here and clips in there.
yeah.
and
Everything
frickin-
is assembled. You know, it's just assembly required, pretty much. But everything clips like it's very.
Are you like
friendly.
soldering stuff?
No, nothing. Everything's
No?
just plug it in. Just blip.
Huh.
You know, close a clamp or
Yeah.
put
Sometimes
a screw
you have to
here.
use a screw. Like
Yeah, like to the video card, so you can mount it to the motherboard. It has like a clip, and then
Yeah.
to help, you know, like to help support the video card,
Mhm.
because they're usually heavy. You just screw it onto the case.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
just
it.
make sure that you're always grounded for static electricity.
Yeah.
Oh, good call. Good call.
Yeah, that's-
Grounded like well, I mean, does that everything gets grounded? I would assume to the power supply, and then the ground,
and the case.
the
Yeah.
third prong gets plugged into the wall, so it's
Correct.
grounded. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, but while you're building it, you can create static electricity and break it.
No way.
Yeah, it's never happened to me, but I've heard
Huh.
that it does. So while you're assembling, you want to be a little bit grounded.
So what my advice then would be to buy a shipping container and make it a static-free environment. You know, ground the shipping container. I'm messing with you.
Jeez, that's a lot of work. But yeah, man, it's not that hard. And then you built it to whatever you need it for.
You could do shipping containers for everything. Outdoor kitchen, shipping container.
Yeah,
Pool, shipping container.
You know what? Talking about it more and more on my YouTube like feed, I've been getting like DIY shipping container house.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Oh, you want to add a bathroom? Shipping container.
Shipping container. That's a big ass bathroom. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go,
That
man.
would be a nice bathroom. Yeah.
It would no, what they did to it, I was like,
Oh,
holy
dude.
crap.
Speaking of bathrooms, I'm like I shut off some of these dehumidifiers and fans right now because we're in the middle of a big insurance claim to replace all the cast iron drain pipes under my house, which is interesting. They're gonna have to like trench through the floors, trench through through the kitchen.
Oh, God.
Like the other two bathrooms are like in line with each other on along one side of the house. So the trench that they're gonna have to make is from the bathroom, the front of the house bathroom, literally through the bedroom, through my master closet to my bathroom,
And then turn to the
and
kitchen.
then out straight out to the septic tank kind of thing.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they literally have to make a trench through down like through everything.
Oh god.
The only room in the house that's going to be untouched is Mila's room, like the front of the house. Everything else is fucked. Which is, I mean, it winds up being good, obviously, because we're gonna, like I had planned to replace kitchen cabinets. So I guess I don't know how the whole process works, but I hope that we might have enough money out of this insurance claim to do cabinets and stuff like that, and floors. The floors have to get done because they're digging a freaking trench through the floors.
Right.
But it just it's inconvenient more than anything. Like for having the daily processes of with a little kid, 2 little kids, and a wife, like that. They want to be comfortable and they're not, so that sucks.
Jeez.
We just stay at the Hard Rock. We'll stay at the Hard Rock down the street.
On the new one.
know?
The new one.
Add that to the insurance claim.
There you
know?
go. Might as well, right?
Yeah.
You could do it. So it's not that bad. You have to. You can't really live there while they're doing it.
I will. I'll hold down the fort. I'll take a bath at the pool. Jump in the pool.
That Polish guy is gonna go nuts.
Oh yeah. Why is there soap in the pool? Why do you put soap?
Why
in
you
the pool?
put soap? You can't put soap.
You shave your back in the pool. What is wrong with you?
He's gonna have a field day. It catches you taking a bath, bro. That would be the better one.
Oh,
You can't. You just know that you can't take a bath early on Tuesdays. And there you go.
On Tuesdays, yep.
And you're set. That Polish guy's funny.
Man.
That's funny, man. But, yeah.
So Chris, man, what else? You pumped for this home show? Second time around?
I'm a lot more pumped for it this time than I was.
Okay,
the first
good.
time.
I'm glad
Yeah.
to see that. Glad about
Yeah.
it.
Especially, I think the first time too, the timing of it was bad. Just because I think I told you I was like, dude, I am in trial. The 2 days leading
Yes.
up to it, I was like, didn't have the setup time that I really wanted. Didn't know how to set up. I don't know. Like I had a whole mess of confusion around the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite fortuitous actually to have the extra couple weeks just to dial things in. And actually I'm doing a video sort of about the prep for it. So
Good.
yeah, it'll be like a cutting board, charcuterie board video. So
Oh.
yeah, with the turquoise inlays and all that good stuff.
Those are really cool, and they do. It is a great idea to do that, and I have that bag, the little bag sample that you gave me, like still
Yeah.
sitting.
Sitting outside.
But it's badass, man. It's I don't have any use for it yet, but I will, and it's gonna be. Oh well, now I know how it looks, and it looks cool, so I'm pumped.
Yeah. I mean, and you could maybe not crush them. I mean, that's an idea too. Like
Yeah.
I just mashed them up because I figured, hey, what the hell,
Well, yeah, and
But-
it's a smaller void, so like you could the illusion of more rocks in a smaller space. Crush them up into small pieces. Because if you
Yes.
left them whole, you'd probably only have like 3 chunks.
Yeah.
Three like
yeah,
big
yeah,
crack
exactly.
rock looking things and covered with epoxy.
Yeah.
But if I'm doing it in a, let's say for example in a slab, there's a decent sized knot or void in the slab, I'll leave them how they are, how you gave them to me, and just put them in there, cover them with epoxy, and Bob's your uncle. That's
Yeah.
the same. That's
And
the last
mine are
time I'm gonna
just
say that.
Straight up CA glue. There's no epoxy.
Oh, that's
involved.
right. You didn't use any epoxy.
Oh.
Yeah.
So did you use like all of your CA glue? Did you buy
No.
more?
Actually, because I
Really?
mean, realistically, I would lay some down on the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
then pack it full of the turquoise chips,
Yeah.
and then lay a little bit of CA glue on the top, kind of let it settle in,
Yeah.
spray it, and then that would kind of almost like seal out the top so it'd be like ripply, and then I'd just do one more little coat of CA glue over the top of that
Huh.
and spray it again, and then sand it off and smooth it off. So
Ah.
Now, like when you sand that stuff, let's say you treat it like epoxy, like you sanded it smooth across
Yeah.
the top.
yeah,
Then how did you bring it back to a shine? Like just the oil made it shiny?
yeah, that was
Okay.
it. Like even water, like when I was popping the grain, like the
Yeah.
water kind of took care of that too. I mean,
Nice.
it'd be a little on the cloudy side, but
Yeah.
like with these boards, I mean, well, we've been talking a little bit about that Maloof finish that I like to use,
Yes.
and the second part of the Maloof finish is food safe basically, and I've been doing a
Oh.
variation on it that is, instead of using the boiled linseed oil, because I actually, now I think about it, boiled linseed oil is not food safe, but anyway, so I'll use.
It's not?
I don't think so.
Oh.
But I use mineral oil, pure tongue, and beeswax as
Wax,
like the
yeah.
board butter, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I just literally cook it in the microwave for about a minute to like
Nice.
get it warm, and then just apply it on, kind of let it sit for, I don't know, 12 hours a day or whatever, and then wipe it off.
Okay.
And that stuff has been working really well. Like it really gives like an extra depth of dimension to
Heh.
to the board.
Yeah, that is pretty cool, man. That's like it's different. I definitely haven't seen it done before, and that's all we're ever trying to do is just do something different. Different yet cool, not tacky, practical. Like that's a win, I think.
Yeah.
That's a
I've actually-
definite win.
I mean, I've said it on Instagram too. Like I've seen people do it before. I
Oh,
follow
yeah?
like two guys that have done it. This one guy, Jay Geary, he does a lot of turquoise inlays, like a ton of them. Like,
Yeah.
and he does them in like shapes and stuff. So like he did one the
Oh.
other day with like a butterfly void that he like filled with cracked, gemstones,
Okay.
that sort of thing. And then another guy, Salvage Creations, he does the live edge. What do you call them? Magnetic knife holders.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
he's done them. I want to say he's done them with epoxy though. Like his technique is very similar to mine, except he goes with epoxy. So he sets them with the CA glue first, and then he
Okay.
goes over it with the epoxy.
With epoxy. Okay.
And then he forgets him.
Yeah.
Hi-oh.
Because that was the biggest thing I think that these guys were saying was that if you tried to like mix it directly into the epoxy, like
Yeah.
you were pigment, it's just gonna sink.
Yeah,
to
they
the bottom.
sink to the bottom.
Yeah. So essentially, by
By gluing him first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
gluing them first, you can kind of place them and arrange them in such a way that how you'd like it to maximize
Yeah.
the viewage of it, and then you can
Epoxy over that.
epoxy
Call
over
it a
it, yeah.
day.
Well,
I'm
my
like-
voids, they were so small, like it didn't make any sense to, do it. I would have maybe used some like what is it, the 2-part like 5-minute epoxy or something.
Yeah, something quick. Yeah.
But even that stuff takes 24.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Five-
it takes a little while.
5 minutes, man. Who has 5 minutes? All right. I need CA glue, spray it, and that's it. Like I'm gonna put it, and it's gonna be stuck on contact, and I can move on with my life.
Love
Well,
it.
I mean, it's just like I said though. It's the 5-minute epoxy. Yeah, it takes 5 minutes to set up and be, I guess,
Like sticky.
somewhat solid. But
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't like full cure harden to the point that you can sand it for 24 hours.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
so-
I don't. Yeah, no, ain't nobody got
Like-
time for that.
The CA glue, at least, I mean, while it's kind of similar in a weird way, but it's instant set. But
Yeah.
then 5 minutes, let that sit around for a bit, and then I'm back to sanding again.
Yeah, you can say. Yeah, you can definitely say it's hard enough. You can even probably use a card scraper on it. It's like rock hard.
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And you also, in this situation, you get the sort of the hardness and the strength of the actual, gemstone as well, and as part of your surface, depending on how far you sand it or whether it's protruding out.
Oh, so you left some of this? You left some of the turquoise, like
Some of them,
proud
yeah,
of
like-
the thing, and then.
Just however the chips may
Huh.
have fell. I mean,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I mean, I didn't put a ton of science into it, really. So,
Yeah.
That's
But you
pretty
did
cool.
think about poker, so
poker, damn
poker.
near killed her.
Chips. I said wrecked him. Damn near killed him. No, you said chips fell. Never mind, it's a poker reference. But so yeah, that's cool, man. We got a lot. I really like how we have all ventured into different things, you know, and I think that's what making / woodworking / everything is all about, and I appreciate that. You know, like if we from 17 episodes ago, if we listened to this podcast and saying like what we're doing, what's going on, what we're working with, we'd be like, oh no, that's not true. That's not going to happen. You know, kind of one of
Yeah.
those situations where like if you told me 10 years ago what I'd be doing now,
Yeah.
I'd call you crazy. But that's cool. It's cool to see this just progress, which is my outro.
There it is.
As
There
we
it is.
progressively get worse at this, and by worse I mean when you're trying new things, you're gonna make mistakes, and you did worse than you did before, but
Yeah.
now it's another tool in your
Yeah.
belt.
A little speed
So,
bumps, little speed bumps here and
yep.
there. That's
So
pretty
that's
much
my
it, man.
advice to all you kids: get out there and try something different. You will fuck up, but then you'll be able to tell somebody how not to do something, and you'll know how not to do something. Hashtag Thomas Edison. All right. So fellas, I believe in the interest of time, since we've all said our piece, my name is PJ with the Evolution of Tables.
Ha!
Check me out on the IGs at PJ_Fetcher to keep with the most current happenings in the world of woodworking / my backyard. Arturo is the Chop Master. Check him out on the IGs as well.
Yep.
And Chris with Cowdog Craftworks on the IGs. Any payments or donations to the show, send them to veryheavytables@gmail.com. Attention, PJ. Any ridiculous questions or no? In all honesty, if you guys would like us to talk about something, please, would somebody just send us a goddamn email with a question that we can talk about?
I never got an
'Cause
email.
We're 17 weeks into this thing, and we have yet to have an actual listener question. So please, for the chance to be featured on the podcast next week, send us an email at askmeaboutmywood@gmail.com. Please, I'm begging you.
For the love of God.
Oh God, the Hurley boy. All right, fellas. So
Sounds
I
good,
guess
man.
that's it, right? I
Yep.
mean, we're good.
Okay.
So
All right,
bye.
guys.